Hey, what's going on, everybody? Andrue2 here. Just wanted to go over some things that was just released about 10 hours ago today on Thursday. Last Epoch came out with their 1.13 patch notes, and man, they are really cool. If you had some issues with Last Epoch and you just kind of want to maybe like damage over time, I know for example was like a really big sort of like sticking point with a lot of players. And it looks like they may have changed that, so now it's going to be a lot better than what it was before. Um, Here's a couple of things, like they reduced the Nemesis, rotating lightning ability, orbiting cold dot, reduce the area, and then the poison Nemesis deals 25% less damage. Poison pool now ends when the Nemesis is defeated. Poison spin attack deals less damage. Across the screen projectiles now deal physical damage rather than fire. Poisons inflicted by the across screen projectiles have 50% reduced duration. They also improved the Nemesis panel, so if you like manually press the close button while an item is in the Egg of the Forgotten slot, it'll be returned to the inventory, so you don't have to worry about like losing that item or it dropping on the ground or something like that. Um, let's see. They also have corruption catch up buffs. So I know a lot of players have been looking for something like this, and I just kind of wanted to like go over a little bit about how it's done and how awesome the fact that they've implemented something like this in here. Um, so so now, uh, say that you get a timeline up to 300 corruption, and then you go to a fresh empowered timeline. Completing a single echo will create a shade of echo next to it that will boost the timeline straight to 296 corruption. So this is a great way of like going up to 300, for example, into a timeline, and then you switch to another one because you're say missing a blessing from that or something. You complete one echo, and immediately you're at 296 corruption. So you don't have to worry about going through and redoing them all over again to get up to that high level corruption again. You just do one, and then you immediately get to 296 corruption, which is absolutely massive. Uh, when the difference between the highest corruption timeline and the current timeline is greater than 40, or you have at least 8 Gaze of Oribus and the current echo web does not contain a shade echo, then completing an echo will create a shade echo next to it. So there's two ways. You can either get it up to 300 and it'll do 95% of the difference from scaling, or you can get 8 Gaze of Oribus and then run an echo web, and it'll essentially create that up to your high point. This is also something that a lot of players have been asking for, and it actually got implemented. A death screen, so now you can actually see what killed you, how much damage it did, and what the overkill damage was. So like how much damage was dealt by the killing blow, how much overkill damage the killing blow had, i.e., how much damage was dealt beyond the necessary to reduce the player to 0 health, and whether the killing blow was a crit or not. So you could actually find out these sorts of things. It's not like Path of Exile anymore, where you like die and you don't understand how you died. This is a great way of like learning. Okay, was it fire damage? Was it cold damage? Was it necrotic? Did I get crit? Like, these are all things to like take a look at. They also balanced a lot of enemies to make them deal less damage. I, for one, thought that this was supposed to be implemented with the patch 1.0 or 1.1 rather, but it looks like it wasn't. So they reduced a lot of this damage again. Maybe they reduced it like even more than what they had done originally. I don't know, but a lot of this damage is now a lot less. Holy Meteor attack range reduced, for example, from the light mages. I freaking hate those light mages. Um, Sand Scorpion's visual indicator for the poison tail attack for theming. Scalebane Saboteur, throw javelin increases the time till detonation. Changed visuals, etc. Bow attacks deal less damage. Stormcrawler crabs, they now turn to you before shooting their lightning beams at you. Tundra Stalker, which has been a massive pain in my butt for a while, reduced their size, reduced damage by from 50 to 100%. Ice Breath has 25% less chill. Leap Attack does 17 less damage. 12.5 less damage from melee attack. The Ulatri Scavenger, which is essentially the Tundra Stalker, but the fire version of it. Reduce that. Reduce the Poison Burst. Void Prophet, Void Fused Armor, Void Fused Earth, etc. They also balance enemy damage over time. So ground areas deal less damage. There's less damage over time being done. Because I know a lot of players were complaining about damage over time, like having no defenses. Even if you spec'd to have all these defenses, you still didn't really have as much defenses. It's awesome. It's so cool that they've done something like this. They also did something with Harbingers of Ruin. Experience granted by the original timeline boss is granted by the Harbinger instead if one spawns. So there were players that were killing the original timeline boss and then dying. And then portaling out before the Harbinger to farm favor. You can't do that anymore now, so that's a nice little change there. They also fixed a few of the animations from some of the enemies that were here. Improved the level design, so there's like spawn in one spot, random encounters and stuff like that. They changed a lot of skill passives, for example, things were that were not visible. And it's just like little other things here with the systems, not saving offline characters. A couple of things with the UI where things weren't clickable and stuff like that. But all in all, I just wanted to like reiterate this to everybody out there that they are listening to us and they are trying to actively change things, right? Enemy damage over time, for example, was a massive complaint that a lot of players had. And this just goes to show you that, like, you know, they are in fact listening. They are in fact giving us something to use corruption catch-up mechanics. So now you don't have to worry about going in and redoing a timeline that you haven't done and having to go through and kill Oribus 8 million times and then kill the timeline boss 8 million more times and different things like that. A lot of the poison nemesis, I died so many times to this poison nemesis, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore now. So yeah, that's basically the video for you guys. Just wanted to let you know that there are some massive changes that came today on July 25th. And if you haven't tried this out yet, I recommend jumping in and trying it out because it feels a lot better. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys in the next video.